Good morning, fellow journeyers. Wake up. Your soul needs you. It has been quite some time since I have posted a video. And I have to be honest, I really let myself start getting into a place of some self-pity. I really started questioning whether or not I really had anything else to say. And then I really started questioning whether or not anybody was listening, if it made any difference at all that I was getting on YouTube and making these videos and talking about my life and my life experiences. And then I had a few different people approach me and tell me that they really missed my videos and that they really think I should continue to pursue this, that they think I've got something to say and they want to hear me. And so it is with humility and with some tremendous amount of gratitude that I feel like I am being called to talk again about some things I'm going through in my life, some things that I'm thinking about, and the life lessons and the journey and the self-reflection that I am doing during all of these things going on in my world and my reality. So as I was sitting here this morning thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this video today, I actually had so many ideas and so many thoughts that ran through my mind that I could not narrow it down and think about what I could talk about and what would be relevant and how I could tie it all in and make it all work. So the talk that I'm going to give today, what I'm going to title it as is Take Your Power Back. Take back your power. My son said something to me this morning when we were out at breakfast, my oldest son, and it really resonated with me. And he said that he had heard that there is a waiting list right now to come to the earth. And I think that is so interesting. We are beginning the age of Aquarius. We are moving into the age of Aquarius as an earth consciousness, as a universal consciousness. And that age of Aquarius is an age of knowing, an age of knowledge, an age of awakening. And I think that as souls, we have all chosen to be here on this earth at this exact time because we are going through a time of great awakening. And I don't think this is the first time people or species on this planet have gone through this evolution. I like to think of it almost as maybe a reawakening, a getting back in touch with what our truth is. So today I want to talk about something as tiny and little as quantum particles and as huge and big as the universe, because everything is made up of these very little tiny quantum particles, including us. So I am reading a really interesting book right now by Greg Braden, and this is titled The Spontaneous Healing of Belief, Shattering the Paradigm of False Limits. And I would like to read a small excerpt from this book. In Newton's mechanical view of the cosmos, the universe is thought of in terms of particles whose behavior can be known and predicted at any moment in time. It's like balls on a pool table. If we have the information that describes the force of a ball as it strikes another, like speed, angle, and so on, then we should be able to predict where and how the one that has been struck will travel. And if it should hit other balls in its journey, we'll know where and how fast they're traveling as well. The key here is that the mechanical view of the universe sees the smallest units of the stuff our world is made of as things. Quantum physics looks at the universe differently. In recent years, scientists have developed the technology that has made it possible to document the strange and sometimes miraculous behavior of quantum energy. Quantum energy forms the essence of the universe and our bodies. And this is where I think it gets really interesting. Quantum energy can exist in two very different forms, as visible particles or invisible waves. The energy is still there either way, just making itself known in different forms. So if we as human beings are made up of quantum particles, then a quantum particle can be at one place at one time as a thing, like me right now, sitting on the floor in my bedroom talking to you. I am at one place in one time doing one thing. But then it also says that quantum energy can exist as visible particles, like me sitting here talking to you, or invisible waves. The energy is still there either way, just making itself known in different forms. So if I am made up of quantum particles, I could in essence be here in my physical body, talking to you, projecting this image and this voice to you right now. But then I also can be present in my subconscious mind, in my beliefs, in my thoughts, in the energy that I am projecting through my subconscious mind. And that still is me. It's still made up of quantum particles that make up me, but it is in an invisible energy form, as opposed to the visible form of my physical body. A quantum particle can be in one place only, two places at once, or even many places simultaneously. So then I relate that to when we're sleeping at night, when I'm sleeping at night. I am made up of physical quantum particles, my physical body as well as my subconscious mind, my thoughts, my beliefs, the invisible energy that I also project, not only in myself but out into the universe. When I'm sleeping at night, I can be laying in my bed. My physical body is laying in my bed with my eyes closed. And anyone could walk in my bedroom and they could look at me and they could say, yes, Rachel is right there. She's asleep. But in my mind, I'm not really there. I'm not conscious of the fact that my physical body is laying on my bed with its eyelids closed, asleep. In my subconscious mind, I am somewhere else. I am dreaming. I am having experiences. I am having conversations. I am doing all kinds of other things in my head. And when I'm experiencing those things, when I'm in my dream world, it is absolutely real to me. There's no difference in me, in my mind or in my subconscious between the reality of my physical body laying in my bed and the reality of what I am envisioning in my brain, in my head, in my subconscious mind. That's absolutely real to me. And then Greg Braden goes on to say, the interesting thing, however, is that no matter how far apart these locations appear to be physically, the particle acts as if it's still connected. Quantum particles can communicate with themselves at different points in time. They're not limited by the concepts of past, present, and future. To a quantum particle, then is now, and there is here. So then I think again about when I dream. And I do something all of the time that many of you may do as well. People have termed this lucid dreaming, where when I'm dreaming, when I'm in my dream and I'm having this experience and these events are happening and I'm with other people and we're saying things and doing things, I can always, if not at least most of the time, I can be in my dream and then I can think, wait a minute, I don't want this to happen this way. I want this person to respond differently or to say this, or I want to look different. I'm going to be thinner, or I'm going to have long hair, or I'm going to be this kind of a person, and this is the way they're going to feel about me. And so then something else inside of me that makes up who I am, who is not only physically laying in my bed with my eyelids closed, and also in my subconscious mind having a dream, there's something else in me also that is changing my dream, changing the circumstances to fit the way I want it to be. And so I think about all of these things, and it's this big wow, this big aha moment for me, because all of this is the truth. This is all true. It all resonates with me. I don't claim to understand it. I'm not saying that I know how the quantum realm works, or how I work as a 3D dimensional soul here on this earth plane. I don't claim to know how all of this works. But the more I learn, and the more I hear, and the more I make myself think about these things that are bigger than what I perceive to be reality, the more I feel like I'm getting closer to the truth. And that is where I want to relate back to taking our power back. So if I am a physical being, and the quantum particles that make up my physical body are here in this 3D dimensional earth reality, and then the same truth, the same particles that make up my skin and my organs and my voice and my eyes and my ears is also making up my thoughts, my beliefs, the stories that I play out in my head, the things I think about as far as my past, my present, my future. These things are a part of me as well, and are just as real. So if I am made up of quantum particles that make up the solidity of what I consider my physical body, and they also make up all of the thoughts that I'm thinking in my head, then all of those thoughts in my head are just as real. They are not any less real. And so all of the things that I am thinking about, consciously or subconsciously, all of the stories that I'm creating in my mind about the relationships that I have, the people that are in my life, my past, my present, my future, those things are quantum particles too, but they're behaving in a wave-like pattern instead of a physical pattern. Instead of particles of things, they are energy particles. And I cannot deny that those energy particles are any less powerful or less real than the physical particles that make up my physical body. So if I give credit to the wave patterns in my thinking, and if I give them the credit they deserve and the respect that they deserve, and if I recognize that those thoughts are projecting energy out into this world, then that energy that I am projecting out into this world is just as real as the physical world that we touch around us. And maybe all of those vibrations and that energy, those quantum wave patterns that I am pushing out every minute of every day with everything I think and believe and feel, are creating my reality. Those things are real, and they are creating my reality. They're creating how I perceive the world around me. I think it's really interesting. I have 3 children, 2 of which are adults, one of which is almost an adult, right? And I have just recently spoken to 2 of my adult children. And one of them I am in conflict with right now, and the other one I am not. And the one adult child that I have is holding a lot of pain and anger and resentment towards me because of the childhood that they had. They are blaming me because of my alcoholism, because of things I said or didn't say, things I did or things that I didn't do, for the circumstances of their life now as an adult. And they are telling me, projecting to me, that I am at fault, that I hurt them, and that now, as an adult, I owe them something because of what I've done to them in the past. And this was very, very painful for me on a lot of different levels. Obviously, I spent a lot of years of my life in alcoholism, suffering from that addiction. There's a lot of my past that I am not proud of. A lot that I did that I wish I hadn't done, pain that I'd caused people that I wish I hadn't caused. I look back now, and with the realization that I have now, with the longer that I'm sober, the healthier that I get emotionally and mentally, and spiritually as well, the more I accept the fact that it took all of the life experiences that I've had up to this point to make me the person that I am today. And so although I wish I hadn't caused the pain that I did cause to my children as well as to others because of my alcoholism and my subsequent behavior because of that, I also recognize that it is a part of my experience, my past, my learning, my evolution that my soul had to go through in order to get to where I am today. And as I said, it pains me to hear that one of my adult children is in a place of blaming me, of feeling like a victim, and also of feeling that I owe her something now as an adult because of the past relationship that we had. Now, in turn, I've also just spoken recently to my adult son. Both of these children, same mother, me, same father, same household, same upbringing, same life experiences, same childhood, more or less, obviously. And my son's takeaway on it is that I love you, Mom. I forgive you. I know you did the best you could at the time. And he told me today, he said, Mom, he said, I wouldn't go back and change anything, because if everything didn't happen exactly the way that it had happened, if I was raised a different way, he said, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And so that also really hit home to me, and it made me look at my feelings of guilt towards my daughter and her childhood and her life experience, and how my son was perceiving the same life experience and his takeaway from it. And this goes back again to take back your power. We all have been wounded in our life. We all have had pain on all different kinds of levels. None of us have had it easy, be it that we inflicted the pain on ourselves, our self-created drama, or the pain that other people inflicted upon us. Yet, it takes what it takes. It takes all of those life experiences to get us to where we are today. And if we recognize where we are today as physical beings, made up of quantum particles living in this 3D reality, and if we also recognize that those same quantum particles that make up our physical bodies are energy vibrations that also make up our thoughts, then how powerful are we to change those thoughts? Two of my oldest children are prime examples of that. How they are using their ability of the quantum particles that make up their conscious and subconscious minds to change their takeaway from their past, to change the lessons that they've learned from those experiences, and to project them into a future that they want to create for themselves. I'm not saying one is wrong and one is right, but they are both two very different ways of living, aren't they? One, to live in a mentality of, I don't have any control. These were things that were done to me. It is your fault. I am blaming you, and now you owe me something. Or the thought that I accept my past. I accept all of my past experiences because they have made me who I am today. And now I have a new learning, a new knowledge, and a new knowing to create the kind of future I want to create. Both adults, both with the same childhood and life experiences, two very different ways that they are projecting their quantum vibrational energy out into the world. And how different both of their physical realities are because of that. There's something else I want to talk about too before I close. And I feel like I'm kind of all over the place today, so please forgive me. It's been a while since I've posted a video, so maybe my thoughts are a little scattered. The other story I want to talk about, the other thing I want to address is my grandfather. Now, and this is a very personal story, and I say this with absolute love in my heart, so I hope that nobody is offended by me talking about this. My grandfather and my grandmother were married for a long, long time. My grandfather was unfaithful to my grandmother for most of their marriage, most of their lives together. And two of those affairs that he had produced daughters out of wedlock. Now, a lot of people would look at that situation and they would say, my grandfather was wrong. He made a bad choice. He made a bad decision. He hurt my grandmother. He shouldn't have done it. And indeed, in past cultures, people were killed for adultery. People were stoned for committing adultery, right? How different our consciousness is now as a society, how we've evolved and changed. And when I look at that situation, I see it in a different way. And I'm not condoning that behavior. I'm not saying it's okay to be unfaithful. But if you were to ask those two women who both were born, who both are in their 50s or 60s now, who have lived long lives, who've been married, who have had love, who I'm sure have been wounded and have had pain and all of those things that life entails, right? That life experience gives to us. They've been married, they've had children, even grandchildren. And I bet if you were to ask them what they thought about my grandfather's infidelity to my grandmother, their perceptions would be quite a bit different. Because of that choice my grandfather made to be unfaithful, two people were born and have had long lives and life experiences. And so, like I said, I'm not condoning being unfaithful. I'm just saying, do we make any mistakes? Are there really any mistakes in the big picture of things? What looks like a mistake to one person is the gift of life to another person, and their lives weren't a mistake. What looks like a mistake to my one daughter about the pain of her childhood is a blessing to my other child, because he has become the person he is today because of those life experiences. And so, taking our power back means changing our inner dialogue. It means changing our story, changing the way we think about our past experiences, and changing what we project through our subconscious thoughts because those vibrations create our next life experience. How different my experience is today than it was 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I have been that person that blames others for their life situation. I have been that person that felt like I didn't have any control, that felt like I was a victim of my circumstances, that life just is what life is, and I don't have any control over it. I have been that person. And I have also been that person that has decided to take back their power, take back an awareness of the power that I do possess, and to create my future from that place of empowerment. So I guess in summary today, what I want to say is that there is a waiting list right now for people to come to this earth. So take your power back. Be grateful that you had the opportunity and are having the opportunity to be on earth right now during this evolutionary time, during this time of great awakening. Remember that we are made up of quantum particles, just like the earth is, and all of nature, and all of the universe and stars. We are made up of quantum particles and quantum energy. And that quantum energy, that consciousness in ourselves, that thing that makes us who we are, the thing that we have dialogue with every day, that we think, the thinking that we do inside of us, that is just as real as the physical body that we are in. So give it the respect. Give the quantum energy within us. Give your subconscious the amount of respect that it deserves by being aware of it, by being conscious of it, by changing it if it's not working for you. Take back your power and create the life that you want to live. Reframe your past. Rethink about things that you thought were mistakes. And see it for a bigger picture. See it for what it is. It is the tapestry of our lives. It is our life experience. It is our soul evolving and learning what we need to learn while we are here. Thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for taking in all of these scattered thoughts that bounced all over the place. I hope that you have a takeaway from today. And thank you to the people who gave me the courage to find my voice and to think that maybe I have something to say. Remember, fellow journeyers, we are in this world, but we are not of this world. Peace.